buenos días desde Almería, Andalucía, España. My name is Anthony Asmar, a second-year student at Western Connecticut State University, studying abroad at La Universidad de Almería. I'm here through a program called ISEP, International Student Exchange Program, so I'm here for 6 months. After promising some people back home and had something fun to do, I decided to start this blog to share with other people who plan on living here, or other people who just want to hear some of my insights, experiences, and tips for living abroad, or just traveling throughout Europe and Spain. Starting from the beginning, so I came to Almeria by plane. I flew out of JFK into Madrid, had a layover there, and then from Madrid took another connecting flight to Almeria. So I flew over on Iberia Airlines. I booked my flight using Student Universe. The flight itself was great, awesome service. The only bad thing was that I ended up wearing coffee, and the flight attendant lost her balance during turbulence and ended up spilling it all down my pants and my computer bag. Thankfully there was no damage, but that was probably one of the most memorable parts of the flight. Another awesome thing was that I ended up sitting next to a famous composer, Ricardo Yorkas. He had music out on the little table. I was asking him about it, and it turns out he's coming here to host another famous composer, John Adams, because he's doing some type of tour through Spain, and I guess they're good buddies. But Ricardo Yorkas was incredibly helpful. He goes in and out of the airport all the time. He helped me through customs, he helped me get to my connecting flight. It was awesome, and he knew all about the area. He's from here. So when I got into Almeria, I was met by just palm trees and like 75-degree weather. Just a beautiful like Mediterranean paradise here. It's the middle of February right now, and people are on the boardwalk in shorts and sitting here in the Mediterranean on the left of me. It's awesome. I ended up staying the first couple of nights at the Albergue Interhoven, a relatively inexpensive youth hostel. The school recommended it for me, so we ended up going there. The only bad thing I have to complain about it was that there was no screens, which doesn't seem to be a thing in Spain, but I ended up getting these weird bug bites all the way up my arms from these like, weird mosquitoes that they have here. But besides that, it was great. Free breakfast, really safe. So that was where I stayed for the first couple of nights. The city of Almeria itself is awesome. Like I was saying before, it's everything you would have thought of a small Mediterranean tropical paradise to be. From the palm trees to the Mediterranean to right now in the middle of February, people walking around in shorts and short sleeves. The city, it has a ton of really cool activities to do. It's not a big tourist center like Madrid or maybe Barcelona, but that's awesome because you can see the real culture of Spain here. They have the cathedral, which was an old Muslim fortress that got destroyed. I've been to it twice so far. There's also a possibility I might actually become one of the organists there, which is really cool. And while the church itself is pretty small, like the ceilings are 60 feet tall easily. There's little tiny chapels all around it. One of them includes a saint, apparently. The sarcophagus sitting right there, which is the first time I've ever seen anything like it. It's really creepy and kind of cool at the same time. Laced with gold everywhere. So that's one of the really awesome heritage sites of the city. There's also the Alcazaba, which is another old fortress. The fortress was destroyed many years ago, and now it's more of just a kind of an attraction, a tourist place. I haven't been to it yet, but I've been to places where you can overlook it at sunset. It's kind of like little hidden mountain spots where we found. So it's really, really cool. There's also in the city a big, huge food and wine culture. Tapas are the big thing here. So from about maybe like 7 to 10, you go tapa hopping, as they call it, or here they tapas. And the way that they do it here is pretty kind of cool. You don't pay for tapas if you pay for a drink. So for example, say you get quinto, which would be red wine. Say it's like €1.50, it's that cheap. That means that your wine and your food only cost €1.50. So you can get anything from pulpo, which is squid, I haven't had that yet, pulpo to patatas bravas, which is potatoes with a spaghetti sauce or alioli sauce, for maybe like €1.50 with wine, such as you're saying the Tinto is a red wine, or Tinto de Verano is one of my favorites. Is red wine with Sprite in it. And then Almeria also has just miles and miles of beach line, and then a little bit farther to the east is Cabo de Gata, which is one of the most famous like Hollywood beaches that they have out there. Indiana Jones was filmed there, like Clint Eastwood. Really, a lot of times you see beaches in a lot of like Mediterranean places of the world. It's filmed in Almeria, so it's only maybe like 20 minutes away by bus, and that's definitely a place that we want to go check out. So one thing about Spain is that here they obviously speak Spanish, and I'm obviously speaking English. So what they speak here is not my native language. I felt moderately prepared for that. I took Spanish for several years, from middle school, high school, to college, where I'm working on a second degree in it. Um, and I had to start using the language as soon as I stepped off the plane in Madrid. So I had no idea what was going on in my luggage, if it was going to be transferred to the other plane, or if I had to go collect it from some mysterious location. And so I had to go up to the lady at the baggage counter, and she was rambling something off about like passport or passport day and this and that, and like it turned out that the back of my passport had a little stamp on it from the baggage counter that told me where the bags were going, and everything worked out fine. But so then, like, immediately I had no idea what people were saying, but it's getting easier with time. I'm starting to kind of get a used to the way that they speak here, so I'm understanding maybe like 70–75% of what goes on. One of the big things about Almerian Spanish, or Andalusian Spanish in general, is that they have that the lisp sound on the C's. So like they would say Andalucia, Gracia. And then another thing, like speaking of Gracia, is that they often omit the S sounds. So like Gracia instead of Gracias. So that's kind of something that takes getting used to. You have to think about words they're saying twice to figure out what it actually is that they're trying to say. And another one as well is that oftentimes words that end in ado are like ow. It sounds almost Portuguese. So not everyone does that. I've only heard it a few times so far, but that's one of the big language things, one of the adjustments. My Spanish itself, I can read, write, and listen okay. My speaking is pretty bad. I have an awful American accent, and it usually takes me like 4 times to get the point across to someone what I'm actually trying to say. Thank goodness nothing so far that I've had to talk about has been too complicated, and most of it is, I want this tapo, or does this bus go to the university? But hopefully it'll get better with time. I'm starting to adapt maybe a little bit of the list bound. And my ultimate goal is by the time I leave to at least have one person be like, oh, yeah, I think he's Spanish. That'd be pretty cool. So like I was saying before, I'm studying here at La Universidad de Almeria, the University of Almeria. The school itself, one of the first things I noticed is that it's absolutely beautiful. It's really wide open. There's palm trees, gardens everywhere. There's little fountains. Some of the cool perks of the school are that you can go to like any of the cafeterias on there, the cafes, and get a 75-cent shot of espresso. It's a nice way to wake up in the morning. Another one of the awesome perks is that you can go to the comedor, or the dining room, where you can get a plate like literally this big, costing €5, that has everything from paella to maybe like croquetas with french fries, croquetas that are kind of stuffed fish, with a salad, apple, yogurt, and a water. €5 for all of that. Most of the time, like we go there with friends and stuff, we bring half the food home, we can't even eat it. I guess that way you have stuff for the night, so it works out really well. It's a good deal. Some of the other stuff about the school, there's a ton of international students here. There's something like 500 international kids from all over Europe. Most of them are here in a program called Erasmus. Like I said, I'm here from ICEP, so there's only 10 of us ICEP kids here. Most of them are from the US. We have one from Argentina, one from Puerto Rico, one from South Korea, and one from Canada, and the rest of us are US. But it's just really awesome. We meet a ton of cool people. So one of the things that people often think about when they think of Spain is its renowned nightlife, and it certainly lives up to its expectations. Like, I'm not joking, it starts here around 2 o'clock in the morning and doesn't end until 5:36 in the morning. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of people will start off their night by ir de tapas, going tapa hopping, which that usually entails either going from one restaurant to another one, or just staying at one restaurant and ordering more food and wine for several hours. The big party days here are Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Thursdays are especially big because a lot of university kids go home on the weekends and they leave on Friday, so they party on Thursday and then head out on Friday. A lot of the clubs in Almeria are based on Los Cuatro Calles, the 4 of the streets in town. One of the big ones that I've been going to frequently is La Clásica, which is a big area for international students. In fact, during our opening week, that's where most of the activities are based, in that club. But the clubs here, it seems to be very relaxed, and I don't go clubbing in the U.S., so I can't really compare it. But here things seem to be very relaxed, very friendly. You get a shot for €1, or you can go get a calimocho, or calimacho, I'm still not really sure how it's pronounced, which it's like a liter of wine and Coca-Cola that they mix together. It's usually €3. You share it amongst your group of friends. So those are kind of like the Spanish obsession with wine, like showing itself in the nightlife. So I guess it's time to call it a day for vlog number 1. I just had to do a retake. The car from the police station actually now just came driving by, and I think they thought I was like slightly crazy for speaking to my camera. The police here are really cool, and they seem not to really care about much, but it was a little bit awkward. So I apologize in advance to anyone if my vlog seems slightly spastic or train of thoughtish. This is the first time I've ever done anything like it. So hopefully it'll get better with time. I plan on continuing this maybe once a month, once every couple of weeks. So to everyone back home, hello, hope you're all doing well. And to anyone who plans on living in Almeria, I hope this was helpful to some degree. But until next time, desde Almería, Andalucía, España, adiós.